What's going on, guys? This is Danny Summers with Intercept MMA. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys can, please hit like and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell. That way, anytime we're putting out new videos, new content, new fight breakdowns, you guys can see it first. What's going on, guys? Coach Jay, I'm here with Coach Anna. What we're going to be getting into is from a single collar tie, like almost like a 50-50 neutral. We're going to be looking for our tie trip from this position. Now, whenever we're doing this tie trip, a lot of time, I'm going to just take these off. You can see on film how I take my gloves off now. You can keep yours on.
I can't take mine off because you're stuck.
Nice. So when we're doing this, one thing to keep in mind is the positioning of our feet when we're in the clinch and how to get them to step where we want them to step. So even before we get into the technique, if Anna stands with her feet square, because a lot of times whenever we're in the clinch, our feet should be square. If someone has one foot in front, you kind of put yourself in an awkward position sometimes. So a lot of times you see people when they're working in the clinch, they kind of go square with their feet. That way they can attack with either side knee. So if we're in this clinch position where her feet are squared off, whichever way I decide to push or pull her head is where she's going to want to step. What I mean by that, if I took her head and I pushed it to the side, that's where she wants to step. Now, if I took her head and I pulled it this way towards me, that's where she's going to step. And it seems like, well, that's just basic knowledge, right? Yes and no, because a lot of times when we get to this clinch, what people tend to do is they move the head outside and they wonder why there's no foot there to trip. Because when I get into this clinch position where I have her, she has me, I have her forearm, she has my forearm. If I start firing knees and I feel like now she's bringing her hips in, right? Meaning if I'm out here, I start firing these knees to the body and I see she's starting to bring her hips in because she wants to take away this space. Now I'm going to go into my trip. When I go into my trip though, I pull her head where I want her to step. So I'm going to literally pull her head through my shoulder behind me, and as I do that, my right leg is going to add like a roadblock. So if I was to throw this motion, as I pull her head in and I start to rotate, my right leg I'm going to extend and I'm just going to use my hip. So I'm just going to push my right hip in front, and this is my roadblock. So when she attempts to step, I'm putting something in the way so there's no opportunity for her to step, and that's when we start to get someone to trip. So if we're in this position, I start firing my knees, boom, Anna starts bringing her hips in, and I can feel the pressure because I can feel the pressure into my frame. Now I'm going to start to pull her head in. As I do, roadblock. So again, if we're in this, right?
Yeah, no, fine.
Okay.
You just said it like Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. So again, if we're in this position, I start firing my knees and she starts bringing her hips in. I feel the pressure into my frame. This is telling me her weight's coming in. Now I know I can trip her. If her hips are back, I'm not going to try to trip her because when I try to pull her, her foot's too far. When I start firing knees and now she's like, I'm tired of getting hit with these knees, she brings her hips in, now I trip. Again, I pull the head to my shoulder. As I do that, I'm going to rotate and kick that leg out. And again, when I mean kick that leg out, I mean I'm putting up a roadblock so there's no way for her to take that step. What I'm not doing is this. When I have her here and she's bringing her hips in, I'm not trying to kick her leg. Like I'm not trying to kick. I'm not going to be strong there. What I'm going to do is just extend this leg. That way I can just take her right over. And in that moment in time where Anna thinks I'm going to step and get my balance, I roadblock that foot. She can't take that step. And now we initiate the trip. Again, this is a good trip, whether it's submission grappling and you guys are starting on the feet, you guys are jockeying for position, try to get inside ties, and you're looking to take someone down, or obviously tie competition, MMA scenario. There's a lot of good uses for this trip, no matter what martial art you're in. Well, again, wrestling technique, Thai technique, MMA technique. This is an awesome technique to try. Again, focus on pulling the head in, not out. If you pull the head in, they step, you hit that trip. Give me a high five next time you see me. Give it a try.